Hey guys, it's IKevNX here, and today we're going to talk about Devil May Cry 5 because of potential leak that has surfaced today, and it is pretty hype. Even though I promised myself that I will not get hyped over Devil May Cry news, especially leaks, because year after Devil May Cry 4 we have been let down, and all we got was that reboot and special edition. But then again, special edition was awesome, but it's not a new game per se. So this leak apparently came online today earlier, and greetings, I'm making as a sole person, but as a part of the community for quite some time. I've been aware that this is a new different cry game. Oh, well, aware of existence is pushing it a little bit, I think. Well, Itsuno did say that he wanted to unveil a secret project this year, and we waited to see what it would be. Even though we kind of did not know because we had been let down so much that it kind of is hard to have our faith back in Devil May Cry, since in the end it would actually be Dragon's Dogma in the end. That's what we figured. But hopefully we are wrong. I mean, hopefully this is real. We waited through E3 to Jasper's game show, and now late November, waiting for the PSX Capcom Cup that is in the beginning, 2 weeks from now I think. 2 to 3 weeks from now. Itsuno's secret project is the sequel to the original Devil May Cry series, the fifth installment. Internally, it appears to be called Devil May Cry V. Well, that's good, because every time I look at that ugly ass logo, Devil May Cry 5, that 5 gives me the GBs because it's so ugly. Sorry if I'm sounding a little stuffed, because I just had pizza. 2 pizzas, yeah, I'm a little stuffed. Anyway, release date and production. The game's late to be released sometime the fiscal calendar year of 2019. That means somewhere between April 2018 and March 2019. Original plan was to release it in November of next year, so 1 year from now, but the date might have been pushed back to early 2019. At this point, as long as it is real, I'm down for it. Because what's 6 extra months? 10 years. Basically. Originally, Devil May Cry 5 was intended to be announced at PSX, but after receiving feedback on their E3 press conference, Sony decided to scale back and instead scale up on E3. So, I guess we're down to waiting to E3 yet again. Oh, at least I'll be able to sleep better knowing that it will not be announced on the PSX. And before it actually is, it takes everyone by surprise, but I'm not counting on it. Assuming, of course, this is real. It's unlikely that Devil May Cry 5 gets officially revealed in 2017. There will be a demo for the game sometime before release. Well, not like there will be any doubt that I'll be buying this, but I suppose it's nice to have a demo so to let our anxiety go up or down, have us a chance to test the game, instead of just watching the trailer again and again and again. Game has been in development for 2 years as of today. When it will be released, it will have a development for 3 years at least. That's actually the highest time a Devil May Cry game has been in full production for. Pre-production started as early as 2015, around the time Special Edition finished. There have been no development hiccups, and as stated, the development has in fact progressing smoothly. Yeah, we're going to read a lot of smoothly here. There is some form of PlayStation exclusivity involved. Sony is paying for some of the funding for the game, but the extent of it is not known. Could be completely PS4 exclusive, console exclusive, or timed exclusive. If the game's announced publicly, then it will be at a Sony event, which is why many people thought it was going to be PSX. So I hope it's only a timed exclusive, because the PC has mods and and trainings. You can actually train there, unless they add a practice room in Devil May Cry 5. I hope they get a PC version down the line. Trailer has been ready for a while now. The initial trailer is 1 minute and 15 seconds long. They may add new cuts, make extended versions since some time has passed. It is mostly focused on story, characters, and cutscenes. A city-like setting is shown, but not that different from Fortuna City in 4. So doesn't mean that the same city. After all, Fortuna was all but destroyed after the big ass savior destroyed everything in it. Yeah, it was kinda big, even though they did not show us much of the city. The overall game is supposed to be ambitious for a DMC title with broader appeal. I don't know what that means. Ambitious, so what? It will have some deeper meaning, some gray area of storytelling, no more good and bad. But Devil May Cry has always been like that, so ambitions for that, it's hard to tell. Well, when the time comes, it will become clearer for us. Longest cutscene runtime of any Devil May Cry game yet. Well, 4 had plenty of cutscenes. 3 also had lots of cutscenes. 1 had near an hour, I think, of cutscenes. And 2 I have no idea. Because I only played like, what, once or twice? And it was a little cringy at some parts. Not as cringy as DMC Devil May Cry though. That was borderline insane. Development team. Itsuno team that worked on previous Devil May Cry games and Dragon's Dogma is now working on 5. That's reassuring, that's obvious. Yuji Shimomura is returning as a cutscene director for 5. He has worked on 3 and 4 and Bayonetta cutscenes, and we can all testify that those games have awesome cutscenes. Amazing storytelling. Okay, not amazing. Yeah, the storytelling is amazing. Compelling, I should say. Well, compelling for me. I liked them. Ruben Langdon's reprising as Dante. You might want to spell check that. Wait. Johnny returning as Nero. Dan as Virgil. So I'll get to that. No word on the actresses who play Trish and Lady if they'll be returning. But Trish is in the game, so maybe just another actress change would not be news, really, since they change all the time. Lady actually got a different voice actress when it changed to Special Edition. Onye Fury, Onye Fair is helping with the soundtrack. She did the song for Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition's launch trailer, which I honestly don't recall, because song and Devil May Cry 4 kinda always makes me go to singing Shall Never Surrender, so there's that. Characters and story, potentially spoilers, so Devil May Cry 5 picks up after Devil May Cry 4. Well, duh. If it has Nero, obviously it would have to be after 4. More than one playable character in the game. Dante for sure is playable, and Nero is possibly playable as well. Up to 3 playable characters have been suggested for now. So, basics. This is the most serious Dante has been. A new side of Dante, of course not counting 2. Dante still plays with his enemy and has his usual over-the-top flair, obviously. Thank you, thank God. It would not be Itsuno if this wasn't the case. But it's going to be more personal for him. So what could be more personal for him? Since he has dealt with the family issues back in 3, he has dealt with his brother in 1, has dealt with nephew Nero, but he kind of trolled Nero throughout all of the game, so well, in the very end he kind of treated him like a normal person, but so to make him that more personal for him, I don't know where they are going with this story. A third character is expected to be playable as well, said to be very powerful. Well, if they're going to compete for Dante and have demons, they'll have to be very powerful, it's the minimum. Then again, we have Lady back in Special Edition, so I don't know. May or may not be brand new to the series. May or may not. How does that work? May or may not. No word on whether Virgil is playable or not. He will be returning, although specifics on how he is returning from his death is unknown. Obviously, they will not put a major spoiler in the leaks or in any kind of media outlets. That has to be kept up until the game is launched or in the final trailer, because as we know they are giving us lots of stuff in the trailer, so I will not be surprised. But if he is featured in one of the trailers, then that means that he'll play a bigger part in the game itself. I just hope he doesn't come back just to die to Nero. That would be sad, but I suppose would be a fine ending for his character. Redemption, I suppose. Trish has a permanent role to play in the 5, but no word on whether she's playable or not. If we have known for something 3, 4, Itsuno, is that Virgil will definitely be playable, though I expect some DLC or special edition. Might not be in the game, but he will definitely become playable eventually. That's all I am completely certain. There will be a sequence where Nero and Virgil have a confrontation confirming their relation. It was in fact in the novel, when Nero awakened his devil trigger, he actually had a vision with Virgil there, where Virgil said, "I need more power, you need motivation." Uh, okay, not that dialogue, but something equally as cheesy was planned, no doubt. Okay, maybe not as cheesy, but I think that's the sequence they will have. If Virgil is actually in the game as a character or not, he'll at least be in this sequence, which was originally planned in 4. But if it's not that sequence, then it will be most likely because Virgil is back somehow, and I would honestly, obviously prefer that, as to only have one small sequence where they confirm this. Obviously, Nero has Yamato has a part of his soul, so it's impossible for us to know what exactly will happen. Characters switch during key story points in the game, so much like Dante swapped with Nero after Nero got trapped into that giant stone. The Prince of Darkness is featured as the main antagonist to the story, which is what Virgil called him in the end of Special Edition 3. It will be fun to fight with the Prince of Darkness. So Mundus probably be back. He'll probably die, but that title may have transferred to another character, but Mundus was deemed immortal. But I hope we can see more than just him. Back in 1 we have Mundus, in 2 we have Argosax, and we have that one from the anime that I forgot the name, Abigail. And we have Abigail from the anime, so could be either of the 3, or maybe a brand new Prince of Darkness. We don't know. The MC5 might be the end of the Sons of Sparta storyline, so it will come full circle. That's what it's most likely going to say. What we don't know about the Sons of Sparta. Exactly. We only don't know about Sparta himself. And we have a third character that will be very powerful, may or may not be brand new to the series, so who could that be? If the story is coming full circle, might be the end. We might actually get a playable Sparta, and my mind just went mayhem with opportunities, and I don't want to go more into detail or go more into this idea because this might not be true at all, but it is what it is. Moving on. Gameplay system. Hard lock-ons is a standard, so obviously they don't have the balls, they don't have the guts to take out the lock-on button and remove our attacks with Stinger and High Time, because those are a staple for Devil May Cry and they will not be changed. No way, you cannot do that. Console is targeted for 60 frames per second like previous Devil May Cry games. Like every Devil May Cry game. Every game had 60 FPS. It doesn't not even need to be advertised like this, because we already know. There's no other option. Unless we're going to something like 120. But it's funny that they said console, when up there it was some sort of exclusivity. So it's kind of funny that it's specific targeted to console. Maybe the PC is already in the works. Level design is more open than previous Devil May Cry games, but not going to Souls or open world territory of level design. Movement outside of combat has been streamlined to match the open nature of the game. The structure is more open to make the experience more smooth. Immersion is probably important to the team of this game. Ooh. So, movement outside of combat has been streamlined to match the open nature of the game. Movement outside of the combat, so probably it means we have more options of movement than what we had on 4, where we would just run a little faster. And that's it. You're not fighting, there are no enemies nearby. Good, you can run now in one step instead of six. But yeah, it's very, if they're going to make level design more important, more bigger, we have no way of knowing what they're going with. Level design and exploration is more similar to Bayonetta with action set pieces thrown in there, but without the QTEs, thank God, because Devil May Cry doesn't have QTEs. Never, never, never. There's no stamina bar. I don't know why this is a point. I mean, why would there be a stamina bar? We have never had stamina bar before. Not even Devil May Cry DMC had stamina bar. Only health bar. Devil Trigger bar. No stamina bar. Our characters have unlimited stamina. They can run until they die. Literally. This is not a Musou game, but there will be encounters where we're facing more enemies than you are used to in the Devil May Cry game. So, Legendary Dark Knight. I mean, we'll be literally fighting against legions of demons as Sparta. Because somewhere, I remember, a swing of his sword could slaying 1,000 demons. I don't know where they said that, but they said that somewhere. And that would be awesome to see it in game. There's some online integration, but definitely no multiplayer PvP, which means probably leaderboards. And that maybe co-op, since it has some Bayonetta going on in there, and Bayonetta has co-op. Hopefully this online integration is more than leaderboards, but not exactly full-fledged PvP, but maybe some co-op. Well, we are here to wonder and daydream, but not that much. Dodge system is reworked, and dodging in general is supposed to be a lot smoother than before. And I suppose that's good because we are usually used to stiff dodges, lock on, jump, left, right, back and forward. That's our dodge. Maybe now we can do 360 degrees worth of options to dodge. And maybe we don't have to jump every time we go forward or backward. Camera pulls back during big fights. The devs are really proud of this new, more dynamic camera system. I suppose we can take from that we will be fighting some pretty big enemies. And while the cameras did pull back a little back in 4, I suppose we're going to expect something from Bayonetta level of bigness. Not bigness, size, scale. Hopefully. I love that over-the-top thing. Animations are being proved to be less stiff. Big emphasis on cloth physics. But Devil May Cry 4 is a lot less stiff than the DMC Devil May Cry. The system was because of that. They would render the system, the engine actually makes the animations in between the animations. They reposition the character to match. So that's why it is very less stiff. I don't know how to explain it. Anyway, it will be nice to not have the sword clipping through the jacket. And maybe we will actually, they said big emphasis, so maybe we will actually have some battle damage clothing here, because Dante gets impaled every game and his clothing doesn't get damaged whatsoever. Battles are beautifully animated and smooth. Well, always has been. I don't expect anything less, truthfully. Mission and ranking systems similar to previous Devil May Cry games and Bayonetta. There will definitely be mission and chapter selects, obviously. Bosses being ramped up dramatically in 5. One of the boss fights moves between multiple areas of the game. Multiple areas of the game. So probably the Mundus fight will be... Oh god. Okay, I have to stop daydreaming with the two characters flying. Or teleporting. But I would go with flying. Then again, Mundus can make pocket dimensions, so he could mess up everything. But yeah, I'm gonna go with flying, since Bayonetta is involved. Bayonetta can fly, has flying attacks, flying bosses, and Mundus has had a flying bosses in 1 as well. But he said bosses, as in plural, so more than one? Well, Devil May Cry has always had some very good boss designs, and if they're going bigger and better, we can only wonder what they're gonna go with. Style systems in for Dante. Thank you. Enemies will react a bit differently to each style. Well, thank you, because in 4 they would do the same thing and Dante had basically no whatsoever. He just fought the same thing Nero did. So if you're using Gunslinger, the enemies will go faster, closer to us. If we're using Swordmaster, they will go backwards. If we're using Trickster, it will become tricky for them. Don't kill me, please. And if you're using Royal Guard, what, they will attack twice? Not attack, they'll stand still. I want to know more. I want to have more details on this one. Style system has been streamlined to be smoother for the use of players. Speculated that the style system might be tuned or reworked to make it easier to get into than in Devil May Cry 4. And I gotta say, I used only one style during my first playthrough of Devil May Cry 4, and it was 3 as well, I think. Yeah, only Swordmaster. Swordmaster. No, when I began playing 3, I had already played 4, so I focused more on Swordmaster because of those jump cancellings than Royal Guard. As long as they don't mess with the skill ceiling, we should be okay, because Devil May Cry 4, Dante is still one of the most complete characters with a very high skill ceiling. So, as long as they don't change that. Certain styles. They're saying styles will have advantages on certain enemies similar to DMC, Devil May Cry, and Devil May Cry 3. You can use a single style on any enemy and just fine. So how is that similar to DMC Devil May Cry? If it's similar to this and not this, I don't think this style is the same thing as these styles. We might need more info on this, or this was badly written, I don't know, but I just hope, as long as this part is true, and style mean being anything basically, I want to be able to defeat my bosses with only Ebony and Ivory, something that wasn't possible in DMC Devil May Cry. And that was the way I defeated Cerberus back in 3 in the first time, because I kept getting my ass handed to me. Good days, but I have moved on and improved, and I can defeat him easily nowadays. More environment interactivity than any previous Devil May Cry game. This is supposed to complement the combat system, not detract from it. So, wall jumps, wall runs, like we had with Trickster in 3, and then Trickster in 4 kinda died because it had a known on-the-fly style system. That's what I think anyway. Or maybe we can actually pull and destroy walls, environmental hazards for traps to enemies. Like we can run and kick a wall down to destroy the demons on the other side of it. Or Nero can grab some big ass statue and drop it on many demons, I don't know. More environment interactivity than any previous can mean literally anything. Unless they're saying 2, because 2 actually has some wall jumps as well. 3 just expanded upon those. So yeah, this is definitely good. There is some form of dynamic environment destruction transformation in play, but not on the scale of DMC Devil May Cry thus far. So this could mean basically anything. Demons, bosses will destroy the environment. As long as they don't stop the gameplay for cutscenes, I'm fine with whatever they give. Because anything to increase the scale is good. While this is not an open world game, some inspirations have been taken from Dragon's Dogma. I have not played Dragon's Dogma, so I don't have any insight on this, but since the team that is working here has worked on Dragon's Dogma, it's only natural that they will take some sort of inspiration from previous games they have worked on, so that's only natural. And I gotta say, I'm very excited, and I hope this game flashes out to be at least half of what's said here, because let's face it, we have waited, we have been loyal fans, we deserve this. Please, let this be true. I wish I could jump forward in time. Anyway, what do you guys think? This is becoming a very long video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time.